I'm having to do this. Okay, thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I'm having to do it on my phone, so and I won't be able to hold it up right. So, well, hello. I know that Josh isn't there, but who else is there? I can see Cressica and Harriet and Bill.
And Dick
And Holly.
and Holly.
Yeah.
Dick and Holly. Okay, great. No Monica or
Monica's away, right? Is she away on the trip or something? Anyway, yeah, she's not here.
oh, she's online. Okay, great, cool, awesome.
I thought Josh would be here. I saw him a couple days ago, but
He just sent me an email that said due
Okay.
to an unexpected change, he can't make it. So yeah. All right, great. Well, let's get this meeting started. I think we have a quorum is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we got 7 of us here, so we're good to go. All right, does somebody want to start with a motion to approve the minutes from last month unless there's questions?
So moved. Second.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't understand. Did you say something?
it's been moved and seconded.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, we have to go around the horn because we're on Zoom. So, Harriet Bearing,
No.
Cressica Brazier,
I,
Bill Thomas,
Aye.
Dick DeGrasse,
Aye.
Holly Field.
I,
Okay, and Myra Sinnott, I, and Monica Mullins.
He's not here.
Oh, she's not here. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I thought you said she was. Okay. All right, looks like we're going. All right, so let's go through the updates on our amazing work. Y'all are kicking butt and it's really impressive, so that's exciting. And then we'll move to the vote for Harriet, and if there's anything else, we can talk about it. But so, Cressica and Kizzy, do you want to tell us the latest on the Energy Prize and I guess associated grant work?
yeah, okay, sorry, Myra, I didn't send you the, handout. I will forward it to you now.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Get in your pause. Okay, so we've been moving forward with the main, 3 or 4 activities of the prize. The first one being the outreach. We've planned now for a small group discussion. Thanks to Kizzy, we'll have our first dinner for your thoughts, where we're getting people together who haven't otherwise participated in the prize so far. So we'll be hearing from new voices and hopefully having, getting more ideas.
When is that?
She's working on it, maybe in a couple weeks, once she's ready to have it, because, she's indisposed right now.
Yeah, look at the dates that I'm available, because I'd like to be
Okay.
there.
Okay. So but we'll have like at least 2 or 3 more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, and we've also, expressed our interest in joining, the upcoming, new network for, community groups working on climate and energy issues. It's called the Maine Energy and Climate Action Network. It's being organized out of UMaine. You can Google it. And I will send out a summary of what their, mission is pretty soon. And then we also wrote letters of support for 2 research groups that are submitting proposals with NREL for hydropower and hydrogen storage technology development projects. And that kind of leads us into our main activity for the past month, which is organizing and planning this Clean Energy to Communities Technical Assistance Program application, which is due in 1 month from now. So there's 4 main parts to that. There's the community part, which means we'll get funding for the capacity building on the island to do outreach and more energy planning activities on the island. So that goes to people, that funding. And then there's the technical assistance part, which will be the national labs would support us alongside other implementation partners, we hope, in order to actually design and do demonstration projects. So that's another funding source. And then the third part is CMP is going to support us, as a letter of support and advising. And hopefully we'll be able to develop our partnership with them through this Clean Energy to Communities project. And then the fourth part is other organizations who will support us, hopefully, like the Island Institute has agreed to give us a letter of support for that. So we're bringing together a range of organizations to collaborate on the next stage in the energy planning for the island through this Clean Energy to Communities program. It's very competitive. Our chances are, slim, but we have a great group supporting us on this. So the next prize goal one, like the microgrid and solar project is the town center microgrid, which Bill has been working on solar site identification and outreach with the ICC on for like a month and a half now.
Something like that.
In earnest.
Time flies.
Yeah. And then, altogether, we're looking at island-wide solar site evaluation with Harriet and other people. And, oh no, this doesn't have it on here, but we're, Harriet and others are helping us explore different ownership models for these solar projects, which is going to be really critical for the prize application to demonstrate that we have an ownership structure that is feasible for going forward and hopefully getting at least one solar site planned. And then we have small scale solar array designs, which a number of community members are interested in helping us develop. And we worked on that in the past month. So for prize goal 2, which is energy efficiency, Kizzy launched the window dressers community build recruitment this past week. We have at least 5 people signed up and we have a lot more to contact. We're pretty sure we'll be able to get enough interest in order to bring the community build back to Islesboro. Then we're still working on the home energy consult reports. And then the most important component for the prize is getting these home energy plan surveys done. Thank you, Dick, for filling yours out. And Holly filled hers out, Bill filled hers out, Harriet will fill hers out.
No.
You filled hers,
Yeah.
filled yours out, Carrie filled one out.
Yeah.
So we're good on the energy committee, except for everybody who isn't here.
We're
So
lighting a fire under other people.
great, and we're doing the outreach / lighting fires in order to get the number we need, which is 200. We're up to almost 70 now, so we just have to keep up the pace.
How was the number 200 determined? Did that come from outside or was that our decision?
It's based on the number of year-round homes, like we want to get up to at least 50% of year-round homes, and then a selection, which we
Right,
do
you want some seasonal owners too.
Exactly,
So we could
exactly.
be poaching them.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so it's about 2/3 year-round in order to get a good sample of homes that we can help move forward with incentives and grant planning. And then the seasonal homes, so that we have a good idea about 1/3 of those, about, hopefully no more than 70 in the seasonal bucket. That will help us understand where seasonal homes are, where they're at.
I know somebody who can help with that.
Great.
When we talk about it later.
Okay, great. So yeah, our upcoming activities we'll be sharing a proposal summary with the select board to see how they want to move forward with this Clean Energy to Communities proposal. Kizzy is preparing for supporting the sporting club on Old Home Day. We'll have a table there, so everybody can come and talk energy with us, I hope. And we're also, looking at a number of other opportunities for doing more outreach before the end of the prize, which is July 12th. So it's in 2 months minus 2 days. So that's where we're at. I think we're on the way.
Great. Okay. Anything you want to add, Kizzy? Oh, no, Kizzy's not, is she there? No,
I think she's
I don't
Not
see her
here.
joined as a participant. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to
She's
make sure. It wasn't-
she's not here. Okay. Oh,
It's just me online. I'm the only Zoomer. I think. Okay. Excellent. Anybody have any questions or anything else before we move on?
I'm going to
Great.
talk at my part of the meeting about the problems that I'm seeing now between the supply of energy and the CMP, and one being regulated and the other is unregulated. The supply section is unregulated, and 90% of the population has no idea about that. And I want to talk in much more detail about that, and the problem that you mentioned the sporting club. And Kizzy has to know how that works, because people are going to sign up for things that they may not understand what the downside is going to be. And the numbers are wrong. The numbers that I'm receiving are wrong. And that has to be addressed. They're off by almost 2 cents a kilowatt hour, which is significant. So I'll get to that in the next section. But we want to be certain that that's clearly understood. I've had these long conversations with the utility commission about that this week. Well, not this week, last week.
Okay, yeah, we'll hear more when we get to your point, Dick. Thank you.
Want to jump the
Okay.
gun, but I'm sure the sporting club issue is, somebody has some idea of how that works.
Okay. We will get to that when we get to your section of the of the agenda. Okay, the library and town office work. We have the heat pump project and then the lighting in the library. Bill and Cressica, I know you've been working on these. Do you have any updates to share?
Yeah, I do have some. Basically, we have, I think, without doing anything, shut the door on Midcoast Energy's proposal. It was way out of line and they really were not willing to do much about it. I think we discussed that last meeting. But Solar Logics has been much more adaptable and helpful. And they've given us a very good, it's almost too good to believe. Essentially, what it boils down to is that the total cost of the project calculated now twice, corrected, is $139,000, basically $140,000. Based upon the surface area and the rebate rate, we're going to get a rebate of $109,000 and a little bit more than that, which brings the cost of the heating system in this building to a little over $30,000, which is within our budget easily. It's just extraordinary. And
That's
so
great.
that Kreska raised, and I've had a conversation, so I sent this proposal in detail to Satchel Tool Friday. And he had not, as of yesterday morning, when I spoke to him, he had not had a chance to look through it in detail, but promised that he would. However, his shorthand response was, look, there's not much that can really jeopardize the outcome of this. Even if they calculate using the wrong rate, it's not going to change the rebate that much. And so the other thing would be maybe they got the surface area wrong, but we've been over the surface area issue a couple of times. So in all probability, this is a pretty solid proposal. And I would urge that we start moving on this. I mean, $30,000 to put an entire heating system in this building is just unbelievably good.
Yeah,
And we have only
That's
until the end of the fiscal year, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we should get going.
and it's the end of the month to get the approval for the project to move forward, so it'll be before our next meeting, so,
Yeah,
we'll need to move before that, yeah.
So I,
Yeah.
Crest sent me the paperwork to initiate the, to the application to Efficiency Maine. We're waiting just for Satchel to get back to us to say, look, this looks pretty good, and he promised to do that pretty quickly. He knows we're under time constraint, so we'll move forward within the next few days, I hope.
Okay, great. So what it would be the timing for them to, so the plan is for them to be completed by June 30th?
They promised at the inception of this whole process that they would get it done and billed so that we could get it paid by the end of the fiscal year, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I guess I know y'all are on it, but just let's make sure we stay on it and really focus on getting all that last application stuff in, like top priority, because we don't want to, we want to make sure on our end, we've been as quick as possible. I know y'all are working hard and you have been, but I just want to reiterate so we could really make sure we get that money spent. That would be great. And it's super great news. I'm really excited and I'm glad it's working out so well. So great job. Cressica and Bill, it's awesome. Thank you for pushing this forward.
Let me give you a
Okay.
sense of the timing. This proposal is dated the 9th. Today's the 14th, so that's,
Yeah. No, I know. I saw the back and forth with them. I know. I'm just saying our end, on our end, as long as we can do, we can only do so much, but if our end is quick, then this can hold that up. Okay, great. How about the library?
I've gotten permission to purchase the, lighting, through the town office, so I'll be doing that tomorrow, and then
Mhm.
hopefully we'll get the electrician over here before it's too late.
well,
Interesting. I think that is the right rate, that might be the correct rate, which is good for us. Cause now we're in a manageable, I mean, we know it's good. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Are we still gonna use Greg Janney, or no? Who are we gonna use for the electrician for the lighting?
Hopefully, but we'll use who's available.
Okay.
I mean, really, time is
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, the
important
time
factor
is
here,
the
right?
factor, but it's also okay if it, goes and, we'll figure it out, yep.
Okay, yeah. Another high priority is not as much money as the other one, but yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna be the squeaky wheel on the spending the money as quick as possible. But I know it's hard to get everything coordinated and organized, so I understand it takes time. Okay, well, all right, well, let's move to the next topic. Cressica, I don't know if you have anything big on the municipal building. I mean, it's great, well, in my opinion, it's great that the town voted to extend the bond, but however you feel about it, they did, so, and, so is there any update, that you want to share with us that's relevant at this point, Cressica? It may not, you may not have anything, but.
Well, for us, the relevant issue is the solar array on the new health center. Because we have the grant funding for it. So, I have until June 12th to solicit, quotes for it. And, I'm working with the health center staff to, establish the rest of the detailed budget for that grant, as well as, the architect and through him, the construction manager, to figure out what other, budget items we're going to be able to include in the grant submission by June 12th. So it's really high pressure between that and the, Clean Energy to Communities grant. Yep.
Oh, wow, okay. Well.
I don't know if you can see, I'd like to ask Cressica a question if I may.
Yep, I can see you now, Bill, thanks.
So the question is, I realized from what you said briefly about a week ago that the roof surface area is not what we were hoping. But I wanted to try out a crazy idea. When you talk to the people who would be potentially installing the solar array, ask them if they can bridge some of the irregularities in the roof with some substructure. In other words, if they can build up on the roof so they can get a larger, flatter surface, even though the roof itself is not flat. That's that's potentially possible. So ask them if they have any ideas about that.
Well, there's two sections of the roof. There's I guess it's the pitched roof section,
Right.
right? And that has mostly basically self-facing face,
Right.
and then the two ends are basically not big enough to put anything on. And then behind that is the flat roof, and they have a system for installing panels really efficiently
On a
on
flat
a
roof.
flat roof system.
That's
Yes.
what I'm getting to. Yes. I didn't want to go into the details,
Yes.
but it seemed to me that would be possible.
They're low pitch, but we only lose about 10% of the generating capacity. So I think that's a fair enough trade-off for the amount of roof area that we're gonna get. And we can also have a ground mount array if we're able to afford it.
Yeah, let's talk about the details of the pitch later. I
Yeah.
want to know more about that, but not now.
I have a question, Jessica. I assume that, it's a solar energy project on the roof of some sort.
That's what we were just talking about.
I understand that. Do you have any details on the economics of it at all? In other words, how far have we come with the design?
We're getting quotes right now.
Is the design done?
No, we're
Okay.
waiting for the quotes.
Is that the only major energy, initiative or, whatever that you can see for this particular structure, for this structure?
Likely, yes, because, just because of the way that the budget is working out. Yeah,
So do you see heat pumps or solar and a combination of storage or anything else other than the solar at this point? In other words, has somebody done an economic analysis of the various options that are available?
we're doing a budget analysis of what is okay.
But there's no
Yes.
furnace, right? There's not, it's a.
We already have heat pumps
Yeah,
in the building.
yeah.
It's all heat pumps.
It's what?
It's
All heat
heat
pumps
now.
already.
It's all heat
This
pumps?
grant will not pay for the heat pumps. The rest of the project funding will pay for the heat pumps. So what we're looking at now is other components of the building that we can pay for with this grant in order to. Anyway, there's a lot of needs that the building has that supersede a battery right now.
Okay.
Like a lot more immediate needs, and we're gonna try to fulfill those needs. And then decide whether or not there's any budget
Is there
for
any way,
any amount of battery.
can you keep me up to date on this and the details as much as you can? Because I'm having discussions with the supplier of energy now, with this Constellation.
Yeah,
Not just CMP, Constellation is the major supplier for municipal buildings in this town. And they presumably will be the supplier for the municipal building that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, they have options on rate structures that are possible. In other words, I've already contacted them with respect to time of day, for example. And how that might affect the design of the solar system or the storage system or whatever, the heat pumps. And they all interrelate. And I would love to get a little more knowledge about that so I can lean on them a little harder to get a better rate structure, which is lower energy costs for the facility.
okay, how about if you send me information and I'll send it to
Yeah,
the
please.
designers,
I just wanna
because
be in a little bit
I
more-
can't, I mean, I don't wanna disrupt the designers. But I also, I can provide them with more information and they can decide whether they are able to
We have
use
to-
it
we
at
have
this
to-
point.
We have to tell them.
Yeah,
In my experience, you've got to tell them that this is what you want to consider. You want
Yeah.
to take a look at the economics of it.
yeah, but I'm not gonna disrupt their process by taking
No,
things
they're-
away from, I can give them more
Yeah,
information.
they're technically competent, I'm certain,
yeah.
to do the numbers.
Yeah,
But they may
Yeah,
not be-
Dick, if you could please send, like, if Constellation has some rate structures that they can offer for the types of, for some sort of energy, if there are energy technologies on the buildings, then, just, like send them to Cressica.
Yeah.
So that
I'd like to see
we can understand what the benefits are, because,
yeah. And also because this is a very quick moving process that, this is just the preliminary design phase so that we can establish a budget.
And Constellation, don't forget, Constellation is a very big utility. They have 13 nuclear plants, for example. It's not a small utility, and they have rate structures all over the place. And particularly, bulk off-peak power and
Well, let's
things.
look at that, because
yeah,
right now
is
we don't know what those options are, so we'd
Yeah,
like.
Yeah,
to
if you
see
can
this.
send that to us, and yeah, I mean, right, I mean, some of the, Dick, just offhand, I also thinking, I mean, if we're thinking bulk off-peak power, I think that that would probably be something more relevant to once we get, some sort of microgrid set up where there's like actual bulk, like one or two buildings is in bulk, you know what I mean? So, although I guess it's only municipal buildings that are on the account, but with Constellation, but anyway, I'm just thinking like, it may make more sense they probably aren't going to put a battery of notable size on the health center. Maybe they will, but I can't imagine it. And especially since we have these plans to do a microgrid, it might be more efficient to focus on that and actually to tell that to Constellation, say, look, we're trying to build a microgrid
Less
on the
battery
island. And, so we aren't doing one or two, we're doing a big one. And, maybe that could be the focus. I don't know what your conversations are like, but that feels like it might be more useful because that's where we're headed in the coming years,
But I guess the bottom line for me is, I'd like to see those rates as well, and probably everybody else on the committee. The rate
Yeah, if you could
options.
send them to us, yeah, that would be super helpful. And I'm sure, things can be tweaked a little bit, but if they have some generic, options that we can look at to understand what the flexibility is, that would be great. Okay, thanks. Thanks, everybody. Oh, I can see Carrie now. She was rustling papers. I don't know. It was the first time I saw you. Okay. All righty, great. Well, I know Monica's not on, I don't think yet, or she isn't coming. So, Holly, oh, wait, maybe she did join. Nope, Kizzy
This
did.
is now
Okay.
visible.
Yeah, I see Kizzy joined. Well, Holly, do you have anything you want to share about the EV charger equipment or whatnot? I'm not sure how much you know about it.
Share really, except that I saw an email zip by me, something about where her first option for the blanket was not viable, and she was looking into something else. I don't know if she's suggested that that Mert make the purchase. I believe she did tell him, but I don't know where it stands right now.
Okay.
What, do you know?
No, I don't, but a question. You mentioned purchase, right?
Right.
It seems to me any purchase would be too soon, because we don't know exactly where the EV charger will be positioned.
Oh, I thought this was
This is the
about
fire
the-
suppression.
This is
Yeah.
for fire suppression equipment, not like, so it's not just for the town
It says
office.
EV charger update, but she's working on fire
Fire
suppression
suppression
right
for
now.
electric batteries, right?
Yeah.
Right, for
Right.
any
For
vehicle.
EVs, that could be anywhere on the island, not just
Yeah.
in
Oh.
front of the town office.
It's not clear. Okay,
Yeah, and
thank
that's
you.
why they're looking at the blanket, because that could be something that they have
Yep.
access to that
Okay.
they could use.
I thought you were looking at the blanket strictly in conjunction with the installation of the EV charger.
No,
That should wait.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, Holly, I agree. I had heard a little bit about, well, I heard that Mert, was having trouble getting in touch with the people that the original equipment folks
Exactly.
that they had been interested in, and then he was trying to connect with somebody else. I mean, I have talked.
To say, in the background, what I'm seeing is that this is something that everybody wants. So I didn't hear this or see this in Monica's emails, I'm just kind of surmising this. That, in terms of the supply chain, there's a huge demand for these things.
Mm,
And it may be difficult for us to actually get. So I think the fact that we've kind of given Mert the go-ahead. I'm assuming he's, really working hard to get one of these things.
yeah, okay. That's good to understand. I mean, I guess like, yeah, I talked to Mert and Monica last month as well, just about this, and I was like, we would love to spend this money as soon as possible. Obviously, you know, we have this June 30th deadline and, like, you know, I mean, I said, I would like to not have to, put it over to the next year. So I'm wondering, could it be done, and maybe Carrie, you know this, or someone else, like, could we just like write like a check to Mert now, you know, and say, here's the money, and when it comes, here you spend it, but like, I don't know if that's possible, because then I would just feel better
I think Janet would
getting
be
it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can I raise a couple of questions here? One, the first one that came to mind is this blanket or this fire suppression system reusable? Or is it a one-shot deal? In other words, you throw it on a car, it's done.
I
I'd
don't
like
know,
to.
but Bill,
You could talk to Mert about that stuff, because I don't think we have I think,
Well,
yeah.
that's the point. I don't think we have enough information. So to your question, Myra,
it's
I'd be
Mert's.
reluctant to buy something about which we don't know enough. And right now I know almost zero about this thing.
But it's Mert's decision.
well, yeah,
it's
exactly,
specific
yeah,
Equipment that he needs,
Right,
So,
he has the knowledge.
yeah, he's
Does he?
going to make the, yes.
So
He's
we
been
have
doing
decided-
the training
Okay?
on this, yeah.
right. So we've decided that we are going to trust Mert to buy the equipment that he needs, knowing that it's limited. So it's a one-shot deal. That's his choice. It's a one-shot deal. But
I didn't
they
need
want to
that.
buy it,
Yeah.
and so that's what we're facilitating. We're not, I mean, you know, obviously, we're not going to say go spend $5,000 however you want and goes on a vacation, right? But you know, I don't think we need to monitor and we're not making the decision on it, on the exact equipment, other than it functions as it should you know, to support EV fire suppression. Does that
Just-
help?
To quickly interject, I think most of the EV fire blankets are reusable about up to 30 times, I think is my belief.
That's a good bit of information.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, so you were saying, I think it was Holly, you were saying we should ask Janet about transferring the money to Mert.
Yeah, just find out, how that works, or if we can order, or if Mert can order it, and if it's back ordered, if that will still be applicable to this budget. For this year.
Right, right. I'd love to just transfer the money and get it out of our hair, honestly. But like, that's just my perspective. I trust Mert that he will spend it wisely. But I don't know how other people feel.
Well, I have a new thought on the matter. Back in December, we were struggling to see how to spend the money in a timely fashion, and we didn't have many options in our hands. But right now, we have one option, a large bill. We have a next large bill, the lighting in the library. So it brings us very close to our budget allocation. So I wonder whether or not the spending of the money for the blanket is as critical, the timing for it is as critical as we thought it might have been when I last thought about it in December.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, Bill. I think it's less critical now, but more critical for next budget, meaning like, well, I mean, look, if it went over into next year and we're allowed to do that, great. But next year's budget is even larger, as we said, and it's like gonna be taken up by a good amount of you know, it's kind of pretty full. So that's why we said, let's use it now, you know, because we actually have that money now. Versus next year, it's going to be a little harder to squeeze out if we can't. I mean, we probably can roll it over, but you know what I mean? Like, actually, now is the time versus like in the next year when we're faced with actually very high bills on doing the heating system in the library, that sort of thing. So that's my you know, that's kind of how I've been thinking about it, at least. I mean, maybe other people feel differently or think differently, but
Do you want me to check with Mert tomorrow, Myra?
Yeah, that would be great. Just see where he is. I mean, like I said, I saw him at the town meeting and he said, I'm still trying to get in touch with him, but maybe, and I did say, we'd really like you to spend this money this, fiscal year, if you can, so he understands. But yeah, if you want to check in and just kind of see what his game plan is, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, it
Like,
looks,
it's like, okay, if you can't hear from this person, can you call that person? Like, what is, are they just, he said, he seemed to indicate they just weren't contacting him back at all.
He's
So-
made progress since then.
according to this budget thing we have, the remaining balance is $37,000, and then a bunch of things listed here that add up to $48,000, so. it
That was
looks
part of
like-
my point, yes.
Yeah, so it looks like this
I
is.
think we may be
going
over budget, actually.
But we also have, some funding from the town offices,
Right?
maintenance budget, like
Yeah,
$15,000.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think we're gonna be spending less on the community event too, right?
Yeah,
So-
and less of the community event, we're gonna be spending, 1,200 on the community event. So that will free up 3,800 thereabouts.
okay.
I mean, I guess, yeah, does it look like we won't be able to spend that $5,000 at this point at all? I guess that's, sorry, I didn't know that. That's how
Just
it
check in
looked.
with Mark. I think it'll
I'll
be
check
okay.
in with Mert.
Okay. Okay, sounds good, sounds good. All right, great. And then, Dick, do you want to tell us, continue on your, discussion about the rates?
Yes, I have done a little bit of homework on mail and whatnot, and also from the computer, on solicitations by supply companies or by electric companies, saying that, invest money with us and we'll drop your rates down to a very low level. I'm very suspicious of most of them. First of all, they don't quote the right rates that they're comparing, because they don't understand that there are two segments to your bill. One is unregulated and one is regulated. They
You're
have
talking
no
about
idea
demand and
about that.
supply, right?
What's the supply, but I'm
Yes.
talking about the regulated utility part of the bill is Central Maine Power. There are regulated utility.
Mhm.
Control, their rate structure is controlled by the Public Utility Commission in the state of Maine,
Right,
and very carefully scrutinized by them. The supply companies are not, they're unregulated, with the somewhat of an exception to the standard offer. And I've never been a favor of standard offer, but in this particular case, most of the bills that are being paid apparently are being paid online,
Mhm.
electric bills. And because they're paid online, nobody gets to reach the rate structures, which are on the back of the written bill, which I had printed out. And the companies that are proposing, and I understand there's several customers on the island that have signed up for Smart Energy, for example. Smart Energy quotes the wrong price. They assume that the total bill is all CMP, and it's not. 60% of the bill is supply, which is unregulated.
So
And
I'm a little bit confused. Smart Energy is proposing to people a total
they're
bill?
proposing to take over the supply section of the bill.
Right,
Okay, and their rates that they quote are not comparable with the rates that are available today. They take the total CMP bill
yeah,
for the month,
right.
divide by the kilowatt hours and come up with a rate,
I see.
okay? And it's
Yeah.
not accurate,
Yeah, yeah,
because they don't, I talked to the CMP, they have a special, number now where a customer can call in and get some facts.
mhm,
And they are getting all kinds of problems with that, because the companies from outside the state do not understand that there are two segments to the
oh,
bill.
I see, yeah,
And so what we have, and the people that I'm concerned about, Kizzy, not explaining this as you go around and talk
Yeah.
about power, that's very important. There are two sections to the bill. Right now, the most favorable one that I can see without some strange in the rate structure is a standard offer. Because a standard offer does go through the utility commission here in Maine, but they are not regulated. But the difference is that the utility commission does not look at the books necessarily and do the accounting for the standard offer. But they do require solicitations to be accurate, which they do not require on some of these others like Smart Energy, which has nothing to do with anything other than they'll just take over the supply section. That was very carefully done with Constellation for the town of Bosborough.
Right.
That is somewhat regulated through the Maine Power Options Organization. So that's, in other words, there's somebody watching out in some cases are not. So I would be very careful about having anybody sign up for some of these solicitations without doing a little bit more math. I have deliberately responded to a solar energy company. No problem. I like solar. I had it for a long time. And I know about it. But the solar energy company made a quick appointment to come and see me, and I don't think they have any idea how the numbers are gonna work, except when the solar panels are funded primarily, the solar system is funded primarily by grants, which doesn't involve my finances, for example. I'm dying to see how the numbers work. I wanna see how they can propose. I got trees all over the place, but they don't seem to care. We'll see. I'm inviting them in
Okay.
to see
Well,
what
just-
so,
I'd just like to say that I'm not asking or telling anybody to sign up for anything. That's not something we're doing, certainly not CEPs. I'm well aware of their, the ways that they're kind of tricking people, so to speak, and I am certainly not going around asking anybody to sign up for anything in that manner right now. So
Have you been getting questions about it from people?
maybe one or two, but not really. I think people are pretty suspicious of it already. I think people have a pretty healthy suspicion of it.
I hope so, because they should.
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, that's good to know, Kizzy, thank you. And I'll say too, Dick, if you are just a regular CMP customer, you can, and you pay your bill online, you can see the different sections. So you can see the supply and you can see and it's
You
very
just
clear,
download
the
the bill and have a look
CMP.
at it.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Kizzy,
Sorry,
thank you. Kizzy just said she's leaving. But yeah, it's very clear, and you could see the bill online too when you pay it, if you pay on the app, if whatever. So and they make it very abundantly clear that there's the standard offer and then there's CMP's cost. So I feel like if you're paying your bill online and you're at all looking, you're gonna see it, just as if you had the paper bill in your hands. And then I mean, it is a tough one. I'll say I don't have one of the I have like a community solar program, so it's called Nautilus Solar, and that I can see the solar kind of credits reflected in my CMP bill, and then also Nautilus kind of shows me what's going on with the CMP bill too, so on their bill. So there is at least in terms of community solar, there are efforts to make it, and it's gotten better. It wasn't always super clear, but now it's, I think, very clear as to like what's being credited and how things are being charged in those types of situations. I can't speak to the Smart Energy or whatnot, and I don't know if Smart Energy sends you, like, because you'll still get your CMP bill. I mean, that's the thing. And even if you're even if it's online or whatever, so that's another thing to think about. I mean, people will be able to see what's happening even if Smart Energy or these other companies aren't sending them a bill. You could see what's happening. You'll still get something from CMP. So I'm not saying that it's all that fixes anything, but I just wanted to say there is visibility over time. Maybe people won't understand that they may not be getting a great deal, but
Smart energy is something to be careful of in general. If you go back, it's been a year or more since I've done this, but if you go back and look at the reviews from across the country, Smart Energy gets very poor customer reviews from different states in the country. They have They have not been well appreciated by their customers in other locations.
And it's,
Hmm.
they claim that they have several customers on the island.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know, I don't know who they are and so on. But I can tell you that it's 8 pages of legal jumble right here on smart energy. There's no way
Right.
the average person can read through the first page, never mind 8.
Totally.
And you don't do that with CMP because the regulators are watching over them, and generally with a standard offer. And the 2 companies that are involved with that, they're watching over them within reason.
Right.
So you gotta be careful, and Bill's quite right about that.
I would suggest we table this until after the grant proposals go in. And then I think we brought this up before. We should fill this need. We should do the research and see which of these organizations are credible, which ones are not. But I
Right.
think too much of our
And then
energy
just
right now
get
needs
the
to go into
information.
grant
That's a good
proposals.
idea.
Right.
Yeah,
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 Yeah, I agree totally with that.
okay.
And it's not difficult to analyze, frankly.
I think that would be a
Yeah.
good service to the residents.
yeah.
We should
Yeah,
send
I
a
mean,
part to the
at
town.
least, yeah, at least telling people what the concerns are. I'd be careful to like specifically recommend or not certain groups, just because then I don't want us to be held responsible in case somebody says, oh, I did this and it worked out. You know what, but I
we
think,
explain the mathematics behind this so people can do it for themselves.
exactly, no, I think I know, yeah, I
Explain
agree
things
that just,
And,
yeah, like,
and what people should be looking at. Put it
yeah,
in those
exactly.
terms.
Yeah,
Mathematics are
maybe,
the bill.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the back, the front and the back of a monthly bill, and this is the smart energy. I mean, I'm sorry, the standard offer part of it.
Yeah,
And clearly the kilowatt hour rate is here,
right.
and the consumption is here. So it's not math beyond the average consumer here.
No,
And you don't have to
Yeah.
read through 8 pages of legal mumbo jumbo, and you're not saving any money.
right.
yeah, okay. Well, this is good. It sounds like, we have an action item for later in the year when we have a little more time to try to put together maybe like a fact sheet or some information for people that are looking at these different programs.
I've been collecting cards from these different programs for the past 6 months specifically for this purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, good, thanks. Cool.
I'm looking
I
for
haven't gotten them in a while, but
benefit. I haven't signed anything and never will until I see the numbers.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
okay, great. Well, thank you, Dick, very much. And thanks everybody again for all their contributions. You all are, like I said, doing great, and it's really impressive. Okay, so we are at the discussion item for the day, which is taking a vote to have Harriet. Sorry, Harriet. Holly's like, whoa, just big change. Having Harriet take over the chair position. It's been, a great honor and a great experience being the interim chair for the past year or so, and almost 2 years now. And I've really loved working with you all. I'm obviously staying on the committee, so I'm not leaving, but I just wanted to say that it's been really, it's been great. And now some of you know, some of you don't know that I'm moving for the summer to Nashville for a new job. And so it kind of felt like a good transition time to have someone take over. And all of you had glowing things to say about Harriet joining as the chair, so that's great, including Toby. He wasn't able to be here, but and I don't know if this is how to do this, but he did want to vote in absentia, so we can talk about that in a minute maybe. But so yeah, I guess I just wanted to say also thank you to Harriet for being open to taking on this role and shepherding us into the next phase, which is very exciting. And there's a lot going on, and we're definitely a really, busy and capable and great committee. So Harriet has a great team to lead.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm happy to help manage the meetings. I do not pretend to have the expertise that, some of the rest of you have. I'm not do not have the engineering background, so I rely on all the other members of the committee to provide that expertise and help, but I'm more than willing to kind of help coordinate and keep things
I think
organized.
you're a scientist though, too, Harry.
Well, yes, I have science background, yes.
And medicine, I think, is
Yes,
science.
medicine, yes, it is.
Last I knew.
Yeah, that's
Guys
great.
don't
Well,
roll
don't,
I was gonna say.
I understand it, Bill.
Yeah.
yeah, and we will certainly always support you in every way, just as everybody did with me. I mean, I know some things, but I certainly don't know everything, and everybody on the team always helped me to help me understand things that I didn't. So that will continue on to make sure that you feel confident to help to manage things as they go. Well, Harry, did you want to add anything else?
But no, I don't have
I'd
that.
like to move the question.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Call the question.
Make a
I'd
motion.
like to call the question, and then we can move it.
okay, what's your question? Or I don't know.
Propose that we vote Harriet as the new chair of the committee.
I would second it.
All right, great. So we have to go around the horn again here. So all in favor of Harriet Baring taking over the chair position of the Energy Committee, say aye. So,
Don't forget discussion.
what, I'm sorry? Oh, so I have to ask for discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, would anybody like to add any discussion to this before we vote?
I think it's a great idea.
I do too.
Me too.
We're grateful. Very good.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, that was good discussion. Anything else? I love it.
6:10, so, yeah.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Well, so now I'm gonna go around and ask for people's votes. So, Cressica, so for people's votes, to vote Harriet in. So Cressica Brazier,
Yes.
okay, Bill Thomas,
Yes.
Dick DeGrasse,
Yes. Yes.
You get the
Holly
voting.
Fields.
Yes.
Okay, I'm Myra Sinnott and I say yes. And Harry Baring, I don't know if you can vote for yourself, but yeah.
I can abstain.
Okay, and I don't think, nobody else is on. And then Carrie, like I said, Toby said he wanted to vote yes in absentia. I don't know if maybe if I send you the email he sent to me, so you have that, and that could be maybe included in a note, so that's proven.
I will show that email to Janet and ask if that's appropriate.
Okay, great. I think at this point we have enough votes anyway, but I just wanted to count it if we can. So, great. Okay, well, everybody said yes. So congratulations, Harriet. Thank
Yay.
you. I'm clapping in my face. Thank you
This
so
has to be
much.
paid by the select board, right?
Yeah, they'll appoint you.
They'll say they want
Yes,
some-
yes. Janet had said, I asked what the process was and they said they would see, this vote in the meeting minutes, the select board would, and then, they're fine with it. But I did give her a heads up so she understood and she was like, okay, sounds good, so no problems with her. And yeah, so then Harriet will be leading the next meeting on June 11th. And I don't know, yeah, anything else to add? Anybody want to share? All right, great. Well, thank you again, Harriet. Thank you, everybody, for being excited about this transition and supporting it. And okay, so who wants to move to close the meeting?
I'll do that.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, great. All in favor of closing the meeting? Again, I have to go around, sorry. So, Harriet Baring,
Aye.
okay, Cressica Brazier,
Aye.
Bill Thomas,
Aye.
Dick DeGrasse, Holly Fields,
Aye.
okay, and Myra Sinnott, aye. All right, we're done. That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.